Let's talk this time about the power writing plan for developing an essay. Power 1, Power 2, Power 3, which is the power writing strategy, is very like creating an outline. But for people inexperienced in the complicated system of Roman numeral 1, capital letter A, regular number 1, lowercase a, that system of denoting details is pretty complicated, and it's not familiar to some writers, and it's certainly not familiar to young writers. So it's been discovered that if you use the simple 1, 2, 3 method, you can teach the same idea about how you develop something as you could if they understood outlining. So here you can see that I am using the outlining function in Microsoft Office Word in order to create my power paragraph because it is so similar to outlining. And let's start with the nonsense sentences or topic sentence or a thesis statement so that we don't have to spend a whole lot of time thinking about the information and spending more time looking at the structure of the paragraph or the essay that we're writing. So under my Power 1 sentence, I'm going to need maybe 3 or 4 Power 2 sentences, and then within each Power 2 sentences, more detail about each one. So if this is my Power 1 sentence, giraffes make good traveling companions, I have to ask myself, what kind of information do I expect after that sentence? Well, I look at it and I think, well, what I want to know is why the heck do giraffes make good traveling companions? Why? So I'm looking for reasons. I'll need 2, 3, or 4 reasons why they make good traveling companions. So I will hit the Enter key and tab in once, and you'll see that it automatically moves to what will be the Power 2 position, which is a detail about why giraffes make good traveling companions. And let's make up one, and that might be they have good long strides, so they cover great distances easily. That's one reason why they make good traveling companions, but one reason isn't enough. So let's think up another reason. And I'm not going to rewrite the word Power 2 because you can tell from the position here that it's a Power 2 sentence I'm coming up with. Let's say when a person is driving, a companion giraffe can spot parking spaces a long, long way off in busy cities. Okay, that's a second Power 2 reason why giraffes make good traveling companions. And we need, let's say, 1 or 2 more. So I'm going to come up with a third Power 2 sentence. And that might be that they cost little to feed because they can munch on the trees at stop signs. And just for grins, how about another one? How about at dinner, they can easily pass the salt with their long 18-inch tongues. That's 4 reasons why giraffes make good traveling companions. That's a lot. But we still do not have a well-developed paragraph because we need more details about each of the power 2 sentences in order to further explain or persuade a person to understand what we're saying. And in academic essays, that's really important. So let's go back under the first power 2 sentence. They have good long strides so they can cover great distances easily. And I will hit the return and then the tab. So here's another level of detail. Power 3. It would help if I could type detail about the reason they have long good strides so they can cover great distances easily. So let's say I just happen to know that giraffes stride is 3 times that of a man. That's a detail about the reason they have good long strides. It further explains, it gives them more information about those good long strides. And we might even come up with another one. And again, I'm not going to write the words power 3. You can tell by its position on the page that it's a power 3 sentence. And I just happen to know that a giraffe's stride averages a yard and a half. That's a second power 3 sentence under the power 2 sentence that supports the power 1 sentence. And we can do that again. Let's move down under the second power 2 sentence and hit return and hit tab, which brings it in to indicate that this also is going to be a power 3 sentence, but this one is about when one is driving, a companion giraffe can spot parking spaces a long way off in busy cities. Well, okay, a long way off in busy cities. Let's say something about a busy city we know something about. So let's say in New York City, a giraffe can shave 20%. Obviously, I'm making up these statistics, but they're useful. If I had the real ones, I'd use them. Off the travel time of the average trip. That's a power 3 sentence about the power 2 sentence that supports the power 1 sentence. And if I could make one up real quickly, oh, I can. As a result, because they can spot these parking places, giraffes also reduce the need to park illegally to make meetings. So they save their companions money on tickets. That is the second power 3 sentence under the second power 2 sentence. And then you just repeat the process. Here we go down to the third power 2 sentence. Okay, they'll cost little to feed because they can munch on trees at the stop signs. Okay, this is about costing little to feed. Let's say that hit the enter key and the tab key. If a giraffe skips lunch, it can save an average of, let's make it up, $7.50 a day on each trip. If a giraffe skips lunch by munching trees, okay. Now we're talking about munching trees at stop signs. I can add another detail and say giraffe tend to prefer oak and maple trees for lunch. It's another detail about the detail that supports the topic sentence. And we would do the same thing again by hitting enter and then, whoops, and then tab. And say a giraffe's tongue evolved to grasp branches to strip the leaves. And another detail about that might be that giraffe also has very sticky, this is a true fact, saliva to protect its mouth against thorns, so it will never drop the salt shaker. And there we have a topic sentence with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 sentences to support it. That's a 13-sentence paragraph, and 13-sentence paragraphs are not uncommon in college essays and research papers. That is a well-developed paragraph. Even though it's a goofy one, it's well-developed. And that's the principle of power writing, using the simple number system of 1, 2, 3 to indicate the levels of detail to which a person has to go in fully developing a paragraph.